Back in 1933 in Berlin, Germany, something happened that would change everything. It was the night of February 27. A cold wind moved through the heart of the Weimar Republic. Flames licked the wooden dome of the Reichstag, the very symbol of German democracy. Within hours, the capital was awash in smoke and rumors. A young Dutchman, Marinus van der Lubbe, was found in the ruins with matches and burn marks on his clothes. He confessed to setting the fire, but what followed was not merely a criminal investigation, it was a political earthquake. Hermann Göring, Prussian interior minister and Hitler's enforcer, declared a communist plot. Newspapers owned or intimidated by the new Nazi government screamed the same line. In a country already trembling from political violence, the Reichstag blaze became the perfect crisis. President Paul von Hindenburg, pressured by Hitler, signed the Reichstag Fire Decree the next day. Civil liberties, freedom of speech, press, assembly, and privacy were suspended. The decree authorized mass arrests and limitless police powers under Article 48 of the Constitution. Within days, police rounded up thousands of communists, many social democrats, trade unionists, and other opponents. The election of March 5, 1933 took place under this shadow. The March Parliament was hollowed of opposition. On March 23, the Reichstag passed the Enabling Act, granting Hitler's cabinet the authority to legislate without parliamentary consent. In weeks, Germany's democracy was legally strangled. This swift transformation, law to dictatorship, reads like a conspiracy dreamed up in a police state manual. At the center of the mystery stood two competing explanations. One was simple. Marinus van der Lubbe, a lone arsonist driven by frustration and radical conviction, acted alone. The other was darker. The Nazis themselves had orchestrated, or at least facilitated, the fire as a pretext to crush their enemies and seize absolute power. There are combustible facts on both sides. Van der Lubbe's presence and confession are documented. Yet critics point to oddities. The speed and coordination of Nazi propaganda, the immediate and sweeping use of emergency powers by Göring, the arrest of leading communist deputies, and accounts of suspicious SA and SS activity around the building that night. In an internationally watched 1933 trial in Leipzig, van der Lubbe was convicted and later executed in January 1934. 3 Bulgarian communists arrested alongside him, including Georgy Dimitrov, famously defended himself and was acquitted, exposing inconsistencies in the Nazi case. Dimitrov's courtroom performance became a turning point for public perception abroad, but inside Germany, the decree had already done its work. Historians have argued for decades. Some conclude van der Lubbe acted alone, an anarchic act seized upon by a calculating Nazi leadership. Others suggest more direct Nazi involvement, agents who lit additional fires or engineered the scene to amplify fear. What cannot be debated is the effect. Whether planned or opportunistically exploited, the Reichstag fire provided the legal and rhetorical excuse to wreck constitutional protections and eliminate opposition. The human costs were immediate and terrible. Political prisons filled, the free press was silenced, political parties were banned or neutralized. Within a year, Germany had been transformed from a fragile parliamentary republic into a one-party state with a leader wielding emergency powers as routine law. The Reichstag itself ceased to be a forum of debate and became a stage for propaganda. The night the Reichstag burned remains one of the 20th century's defining moments, a small, violent act that exposed how fragile democratic institutions can be when fear is weaponized. History kept asking whether the flames were the act of a lone man or of a state. Perhaps the bitterest lesson is this. Even if a single match is to blame, it was the hands of many, politicians, police, media, and passers-by that allowed the fire to become a furnace, consuming a republic and forging a dictatorship
whose consequences would be felt across Europe and the world.